let us continue metallurgy. In the metallurgy, we will see concentration of ores. In the concentration, the methods are hydraulic washing, magnetic separation, then froth flotation. Now we will see froth flotation. We will see in the froth flotation how to concentrate ore, how to purify ore, that we will see. For froth flotation, we will take powdered ore. We will take powdered ore. We are taking powdered ore. To this we will add water. Then we will add collectors. Collectors we are adding. Which is collectors in the sense fine oil, otherwise fatty acids, otherwise xanthates. We will add as collectors. Then frothing agent, stabilizer, frothing agent or stabilizer. Stabilizer we will add. Stabilizer is what in the sense cresol, aniline. Cresol, aniline. Cresol or aniline we are adding. Then air is passed and the contents are agitated very well. On passing air, the contents are agitated very well. This oil is converting into foam. That foam carries ore particles and comes out. Ore particles wetting into foam to large extent, whereas impurities wetting into water to large extent. So ore particles wetting to foam to large extent, therefore foam is moving up and coming down, coming out like this. Whereas impurities wetting with water to large extent, therefore impurities will be staying here itself, whereas ore particles coming out like this. So from the foam we are separating ore particles and we are taking. So from the now ore particles is not containing impurities, we can say. This method is called a froth flotation method. Next we will see, we will take now ZNS and PBS. How to separate these two? How to separate these two sulfide salts using froth flotation method, that we will see. Here this powdered form we will take, this zinc sulfide PBS, this mixture powdered form we will take. To this we will add water. To this we will add collectors. We are adding collectors and we are adding stabilizer. Then we are adding another substance that is called depressant. Depressant we are adding. This is what is a depressant here in the sense sodium cyanide. So what happens here, we will see, we will pass air, then we will agitate the contents. We will agitate the contents. What happens now? This ZNS reacts with the sodium cyanide to give complex Na2ZnCN 4 times, which is quite soluble in water, and Na2 is quite soluble in water, whereas PBS is not reacting, which is wetting to foam to large extent. So foam carries the PBS and comes out. Therefore we have separated what in the sense PBS from ZNS. ZNS present in the form of a complex in the aqueous solution. PBS alone comes out. So for this case only we have added depressant. Depressant makes ZNS to go to solution, and it is not affecting PBS. So PBS alone comes out along with foam. Okay. Next process is what in the sense leaching. Leaching also chemical method for concentration. Okay. Next we will go for concentration of ore. That means we will convert concentrated ore into suitable form for reduction, that we will see. Now we will take concentrated ore. Concentrated ore in the sense the ore as taken for concentration process. So resultant is called concentrated ore. This we will convert into suitable form for reduction. Suitable form. Then we will take this for reduction. Then we will get a crude metal. Crude metal we will get. Okay. Concentrated ore we will convert into suitable form for reduction. Then it is converting into crude metal. Okay. So this is done by which method? In the sense, one is calcination, another one is roasting. So now we will see calcination. Calcination means what? We have to heat the ore particles in the absence of air. While what will happen means volatile impurities will be removed away. It is carried out in which furnace? Means reverberatory furnace. Reverberatory furnace. Okay. So in reverberatory furnace, the ore particles are taken for calcination. Calcination means it is just like heating in the absence of air. Okay. Now, if the ore is hydrated oxide, iron is hydrated oxide, due to calcination, water molecules will be removed and Fe2O3 will get. Water molecules will be removed. That is a volatile matter. If the ore is bauxite, that is hydrated alumina, then on calcination, water molecules will be removed as vapor. Okay. Then if the ore is carbonate, on calcination, what happens means carbon dioxide will be removed. If the ore is dolomite, on calcination, carbon dioxide will be removed. We will get double oxide. So then, if the ore is carnallite, this carnallite ore is heated. Water molecules will be removed. 4 water molecules will be removed. Remaining 2 water molecules will be there. This is heated with dry HCl gas. What happens means 2 water molecules also removed. We will get anhydrous MgCl2. By calcination. Then we will take silver carbonate. Will take Ag2CO3. This on heating, what happens means we are getting silver, carbon dioxide and oxygen. Then we'll take CuCO3, CuOH twice, basic copper carbonate. It decomposes to give CuO, carbon dioxide and water. So on calcination, the ores are converting like this. So the hydrated ores losing water molecules, carbonate ores losing carbon dioxide. Silver carbonate becomes silver directly on calcination. This basic copper carbonate becomes cupric oxide on calcination. Like this happening. Next, roasting we'll see. Roasting we are seeing. Roasting means we have to heat the ore in the presence of air, just like a frying. Okay. Here we are keeping temperature less than melting point of metal, and roasting is carried out in which furnace? Means Bessemer furnace or reverberatory furnace. In the roasting, what happens means mainly impurities like sulfur impurities there, means that will convert into sulfur dioxide and goes away. Arsenic impurity is converting into arsenic oxide and goes away. That means antimony is there, means that will convert into antimony oxide and goes away. Then sulfide ores becomes what? Sulfide ores becomes oxide and sulfur becomes sulfur dioxide. Sulfide ores, for example ZnS, becomes ZnO and sulfur becomes sulfur dioxide and goes away. PBS, galena, on roasting, what happens means it becomes PbO, sulfur becomes sulfur dioxide and goes away. So in the roasting, sulfide ores will be taken for roasting, while sulfide ores becomes a metal oxides. So After concentration, the ore is called concentrated ore. The concentrated ore will be taken for calcination or roasting. Then the ore is taken for reduction in order to get crude metal. It is general, not for all. Next, we will see regarding reduction, how this calcined ore or roasted ore on reduction gives a crude metal, that we will see. Now the suitable form means calcined ore, otherwise roasted ore. We will say this roasted ore or calcined ore on reduction gives crude metal. What is the reducing agent we have to use, or in what way we have to go for reduction? That method we will see. Okay. Now, carbon is used as a reducing agent. Otherwise, carbon monoxide is used as a reducing agent. In which case, to convert ferrous oxide into Fe, we can use carbon reducing agent. Otherwise, carbon monoxide we can use as a reducing agent. Then ferric oxide we are converting into iron by using reducing agent carbon or carbon monoxide. Then zinc oxide we are converting into zinc by using reducing agent carbon or carbon monoxide. Next step. So carbon or carbon monoxide reducing agent is used for reducing agent in these cases. Okay. Next step. We will take HGS. HGS is taken for roasting. On roasting, it becomes HGO. Then, when part of HGS convert into HGO, stop passing air. Then what happens means remaining HGS and HGO convert into mercury and sulfur dioxide. Mercury is undergoing reduction, sulfur is undergoing oxidation, and gives like this. This method is called auto reduction. So in the auto reduction, which and all other substances coming? Cu2s is taken for roasting. We are getting Cu2O and sulfur dioxide. When part of Cu2s convert into Cu2O, stop passing air, stop passing oxygen. So remaining Cu2s and Cu2O undergoes auto reduction to give copper and sulfur dioxide gas. Then in this category, another example is what means PBS. PBS plus O2 gives PBO plus sulfur dioxide. So this remaining PBS and PBO combines to give what in the sense PB and sulfur dioxide, auto reduction. So in auto reduction, which and all coming in the sense HGS, Cu2s, PBS coming under auto reduction. Next reduction is electrolytic reduction. Electrolytic reduction. So quite reactive metals are coming under electrolytic reduction. Quite reduction, that means aluminum is extracted by electrolysis. Alkali metals are extracted by electrolysis. Alkaline earth metals are obtained by electrolysis, like this. Electrolytic reduction. Then in the reducing agent, so we are converting calcined ore or roasted ore into crude metal by reduction. So reduction in the sense we are using reducing agent, otherwise we are going for auto reduction, otherwise we are going for electrolytic reduction. Electrolytic reduction means generally we will take electrolyte in the molten state. So we have to provide temperature. How much means melting point of electrolyte. Okay. Auto reduction also certain temperature we have to provide. How much temperature we have to provide for auto reduction? Then carbon or carbon monoxide we are using as a reducing agent. Some other elements we are using as a reducing agent to convert calcined ore or roasted ore into crude metal. While how much temperature we have to keep? How to know that? Sir, first we will take metal oxide into metal. We will consider metal oxide into metal. Now we will take metal oxide into metal by reduction. It is reduction. For this, which reducing agent we can use? Which reducing agent we can use? Which temperature we have to give? That we'll see. So now we are going for converting metal oxide into crude metal by reduction. For which reducing agent we want to use, and what temperature we have to provide, that we'll see. This is easily explained by Ellingham by diagram called Ellingham diagram. Ellingham diagram. So using Ellingham diagram, we can answer for this question and this question. Sir, how to draw Ellingham diagram, that we'll see. For drawing Ellingham diagram, we are taking in this axis. Here one axis we are taking. In this axis, what we are taking in the sense, let us take delta G naught. Let us take delta G naught. Delta G naught will take delta G naught in kilojoule per mole of oxygen. Will take here in this axis. Then in this axis, we will take a temperature. We are taking temperature in this axis. We have taken temperature in that axis. Okay. Now we will see the graph. Now we will see the graph for one equation, that is magnesium combines with oxygen. That the equation we will see how the equation is there. Magnesium combines with oxygen to give magnesium oxide. For that we will see the graph. The graph comes like this. Then the graph goes like this. So it is what equation? The what reaction here in the sense, for this case, what is the reaction in the sense? It is A we will take. For A, what is the equation means? Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. We have to keep oxygen 1 mole, so rest of the things we have to balance. Okay. We have given magnesium with oxygen, we have given the graph. Next we will go for a next case, aluminum with oxygen. Graph we will see. Aluminum with oxygen. Aluminum combining with oxygen to give aluminum oxide. For that we will see the graph. Okay. This is a graph for which one in the sense? Aluminum with oxygen. This graph for aluminum with oxygen. So now aluminum combining with oxygen to give aluminum oxide. We have to balance this by keeping oxygen as 1 mole. Therefore, this you multiply by 2 by 3. So it is 4 by 3. Okay. Now we will see, can we convert magnesium oxide into magnesium by using aluminum as the reducing agent? That we'll see. Can we convert magnesium oxide into magnesium by using aluminum as the reducing agent? That we will see. Is it possible or not? That we will see. Okay. So we will, what shall we do in the sense? Let us take this equation. For this equation, let us take delta H first now. Okay. What is the delta H value for this equation? That we will see. Now, here delta G naught is how much? Delta G naught value is at this place. Delta G naught value is 0. Here positive, here negative. Delta G naught. So this graph A is in a negative delta G. Negative delta G. graph A is in negative delta G. Therefore, we will take delta G is negative for this. Delta G for this equation is negative. For this equation also delta G is negative. Okay. Delta G is negative. So it is minus x kilojoule per mole. It is minus y kilojoule per mole. We will take. Now we want to convert magnesium oxide into magnesium, for which let us reverse equation A, because we want to convert magnesium oxide into magnesium. Therefore, MgO gives Mg plus O2. Delta G is equal to plus X. Then let us take equation B as it is. So 4 by 3 Al plus O2 gives Al2O3 plus Al2O3. Delta G is equal to minus Y. Let us take overall. Overall equation will see. Overall equation is MgO plus 4 by 3 Al. O2 cancels, gives 2 by 3 Al2O3 plus Mg. So we have converted MgO into Mg using aluminum as the reducing agent. Delta G for this process is x minus y. Delta G is x minus y. Now delta G is negative for this process or positive for this process, that we should know it. Delta G for this overall reaction is negative or positive. What value, that we'll see. Okay. Now you see that when the temperature is, now we will take the temperature is this much. This temperature will take. This temperature is how much, means 1350 degrees Celsius. This temperature is 1350 degrees Celsius. When the temperature is below 1350 degrees Celsius, for A, delta G is more negative, for B, delta G is less negative. Okay. So when the temperature is less than 1350 degrees Celsius, for this more negative, for this less negative. Okay. This graph is below, this graph is above. For this more negative, that means x, magnitude of x is more. Therefore, delta G is positive. Delta G is positive, we can say. Delta G is positive. When the temperature is greater than 1350 degrees Celsius, we'll see. Temperature is, this is, one mistake is there. This is not 1350 degrees Celsius. Now, that 1350 degrees Celsius, where in the sense this one. This temperature is 1350 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now we will see above 1350 degrees Celsius. This magnesium graph is above aluminum graph. So magnesium graph is having less negative delta G. Aluminum graph is having more negative delta G. Sorry. Therefore, when the temperature is greater than 1350 degrees Celsius, this is more negative. Y is more value, more magnitude, X is less magnitude. So delta G is negative now. So when the temperature is greater than 1350 degrees Celsius, magnitude of X is more, isn't it? Now we'll see. When the temperature is greater than 1350 degrees Celsius, this is magnesium is having less negative. Aluminum is having more negative. Okay. When the temperature is more than 1350 degrees Celsius, aluminum is more negative, magnesium is less negative. Therefore, delta G is negative here. Okay, delta G is negative. Therefore, delta G is negative means process is spontaneous. So this process is spontaneous now. That means we can convert magnesium oxide into magnesium by using aluminum as the reducing agent when the temperature is 1350 greater than 1350 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is less than 1350 degrees Celsius, the process is non-spontaneous, but backward is spontaneous. That means we can convert alumina into aluminium by using magnesium as the reducing agent. Okay. So next we will see here. Next we will take another substance. Now what is the substance we are taking means chromium. We will take chromium into chromic oxide. That graph we will see. Chromium into chromic oxide, that graph. For that graph like this, it is, we can say it is C. For C, what is the equation? That we will see. For C, what is the equation means chromium plus oxygen gives chromic oxide Cr2O3. Keep oxygen as 1 mole and balance the rest of the thing. So here 2/3, here 4/3. Now from A and B we concluded that above graph metal oxide converting into metal by below graph metal. Below graph metal converts above graph metal oxide into metal. Therefore now that means this Cr2O3 is converted into chromium by using aluminum reducing agent and magnesium reducing agent. Okay. So we can use we can convert chromic Cr2O3 into chromium by using aluminum reducing agent or magnesium reducing agent, we can say. So next graph we will see. Next one is zinc into zinc oxide. That graph we will see. We will say zinc into zinc oxide. Now zinc into zinc oxide, we will see. Zinc is reacting with oxygen to give what in the sense zinc oxide. We will balance this. So to convert zinc oxide into zinc, we can use chromium is the reducing agent, aluminum is the reducing agent, magnesium is the reducing agent we can use, isn't it? That means what we are saying means below graph metal can convert above graph metal oxide into metal. That's what we are saying. So we got a point. What in the sense below graph metal converting above graph metal oxide into metal. Sorry. Here this graph, you see this graph, all the curves are having a positive slope. Why all the graph is having positive slope? When we convert metal into metal oxide, the delta G versus temperature graph is positive. Why is it so? That we'll see. The graph is having positive slope. What is the reason? That point we'll see. We'll take one example. For example, chromium into chromium oxide graph we'll take here. For this, what is the delta H? Delta H is negative. Why? Why delta H is negative we are saying? Delta H is exothermic we are saying. What is the reason? Because metal combining with oxygen to give metal oxide, therefore delta H is negative. So delta S we will see. Delta S. Metal is generally solid. This is gas. This is solid. Metal oxide is solid. So in the product side, no gas. In the reactant side, gas is there. Product side, no gas. Product side, no gas. Reactant side, gas is there, means delta S is negative. Now we will see delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. T delta S. Now delta H is negative. Okay. When T delta S, temperature is always positive. Temperature is always positive. Delta S is negative means, so it becomes what in the sense this term becomes positive, isn't it? Therefore, delta G is equal to delta H is a negative term. This is positive term, becomes positive. Because delta S is negative, here negative sign, therefore become positive. So when temperature rises, when you raise the temperature, what will happen to the delta G? Delta G will move towards positive value side. Okay, therefore, delta on rising the temperature, delta G becomes less negative, less negative, less negative like this. It becomes less negative, less and less negative. Okay, therefore, a graph is having positive slope. Here, delta G is a negative side, negative value. Delta G is a negative. On rising the temperature, negative delta G negative becomes less and less. Therefore, graph is having positive slope, we are saying. Sir. Now, we'll take another substance now. We'll take carbon monoxide with oxygen gives carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide is gas, oxygen is gas, carbon dioxide also gas. Let us balance the equation by keeping oxygen as 1 mole, so 2 moles, 2 moles. What do you say about on rising the temperature? What happens to the negative value of delta G? Here, left side 3 moles, reactant 3 moles of gas, product 2 moles of gas. Therefore, delta S is negative. So, on rising the temperature, negative value of delta G getting reduced. Therefore, for this slope is positive. For this, we can say slope is positive. Okay. Then we will take iron with oxygen gives iron oxide. Let us balance this equation. Iron is solid, oxygen is gas, iron oxide is solid. So for this also, on rising the temperature, delta G, negative value of delta G getting reduced. Okay. Next we will see next equation. Carbon solid plus oxygen gas gives carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas. For this, carbon is solid, oxygen is gas, carbon dioxide is gas. Reactant side oxygen gas, product side carbon dioxide is gas. So here 1 mole of oxygen means 1 mole of carbon dioxide here. Therefore, number of moles of gases on reactant side and product side is equal. Therefore, delta S is nearly 0 here, because solid means delta S is low. Therefore, on rising the temperature, what happens to the negative value of delta G for this? Here, gas is equal number of moles on both sides. Therefore, on rising the temperature, the negative value of delta G is almost constant here. Almost constant here. That means we will not get positive slope here. We will not get positive slope here. Okay. So next equation we'll take. We'll take a copper plus oxygen gives cuprous oxide. Now we will balance the equation. Here 2, here 4. Copper is solid, oxygen is gas, cuprous oxide is solid. For this also we can say on rising the temperature, negative value of delta G decreases. So positive slope we can say. That means metal into metal oxide, positive slope. Okay. So then carbon solid with oxygen gas gives carbon monoxide gas. Let us balance the equation like this. On rising the temperature, what happens to the negative value of delta G for this? For this delta S we will see. Left side C 1 mole of oxygen gas, right side C 2 moles of carbon monoxide gas. So in product gaseous moles are more when compared to reactants. Therefore, delta S is positive here. So on rising temperature, negative value of delta G increases. Therefore, negative slope for this. For this graph, negative slope. See that? Metal into metal oxide means positive slope, we said. Carbon into carbon dioxide means no slope, we said. Carbon into carbon monoxide means what we are saying? negative slope we are saying. Sir. So delta G versus temperature, how the slope is there, that we have seen. And next, if you see in this graph A, magnesium is converting into magnesium oxide. Here, you see the slope and you see the slope here. This magnesium into magnesium oxide, you see the slope value, how the slope is there, you see. Sir. For magnesium, the slope is like this is there. Here slope and here slope is different. What is the reason? That we'll see. Now, before seeing that point, we will take one example. We will take what in the sense mercury plus oxygen gives mercuric oxide. This one we'll take. For this, we'll see the graph. For this, we'll see the graph, that is a delta G versus a temperature graph. We'll see. Now, delta G versus temperature graph we are seeing for this one. Here delta G is 0. Here delta G is negative. Here delta G is positive. Delta G. Delta G increases like this. Temperature increases like this. For mercury into mercuric oxide, how the graph is there? Mercury into mercuric oxide, the graph is like this. The graph is like this for mercury into mercuric oxide. Sir. Now, we will see the temperature at this point. At this point, what is the temperature means? 356 degrees Celsius. 356 degrees Celsius. Now we will take temperature is less than 356 degrees Celsius, while mercury is in liquid state. Mercury is in liquid state. Mercury is in liquid state. Now we will take temperature greater than 356 degrees Celsius. Mercury is in vapor state. Mercury is in vapor state. Okay. So left side liquid, therefore delta S is left side here liquid is there, it is gas, right side only solid, therefore it is delta S is negative here. Left side mercury is gas, oxygen is gas, mercuric oxide is solid, delta S is more negative here. Delta S is more negative here. Here delta S is more negative, here delta S is less negative. Therefore, here slope is more, here slope is less. Therefore, delta G versus temperature, the graph slope changes abruptly when the physical state changes. Here physical state is liquid, the slope is like this. At this temperature, mercury liquid becomes mercury vapor, therefore delta G changes abruptly at this temperature. So abrupt change in delta G takes place when the physical state changes. Okay. Now, here we'll see. This graph D we have drawn for what in the sense? For a zinc we have drawn. For zinc, we'll say the melting point and boiling point. Will say the melting point is 400 degrees Celsius. The boiling point is 1000 degrees Celsius for zinc. For magnesium, the boiling point is 1120 degrees Celsius. For magnesium, the boiling point is 1120 degrees Celsius. For zinc, the melting point and boiling point, I will say, the melting point is 400 degrees Celsius. The boiling point is nearly 1000 degrees Celsius. The boiling point is nearly 1000 degrees Celsius for zinc. So here abrupt change takes place due to change in physical state. Here also abrupt change takes place for zinc due to physical state change. Therefore, for solid to liquid, one abrupt change, then liquid to vapor, another abrupt change, like that will be there. Okay. So like this abrupt change, why that we have said. Okay. Now we will see what are the element oxide we have discussed so far. Everything we will see in one graph we will see. Okay. From that we can conclude that which will act as a reducing agent for which oxide into element, that we can come to know it, isn't it? That all together we will see. In the Ellingham diagram, here for mercury, you see that for mercury at this place delta G is what, in the sense 0. Delta G is 0 at this place. Here delta G is positive. Delta G is positive for this. For this equation, for this equation, delta G versus temperature graph we have given. When the temperature is below this, when the temperature is below this, when the temperature is below this, delta G is negative for this equation. When the temperature is above this, for this equation, delta G is positive. That means if we keep temperature above this, this equation is non-spontaneous but backward is spontaneous. So mercuric oxide decomposes to give mercury and oxygen. Okay. Then one more equation we'll see. Silver with oxygen graph we'll see. Silver with oxygen graph is like this. Silver into silver oxide graph. Okay. Here you see delta G is negative. Here you see delta G is positive. Do you know why? Silver oxide undergoes thermal decomposition easily. Mercuric oxide undergoes thermal decomposition easily. Have you got idea? Because delta G is positive here. Silver oxide easily decomposes to give silver because this decomposition temperature is less. Mercuric oxide easily decomposes to give mercury because for this decomposition temperature is less. At lower temperature itself, delta G becomes positive for this metal into metal oxides. Therefore, silver oxide into silver easily possible, mercuric oxide into mercury easily possible by thermal decomposition.